Alrighty there, folks. Back on to the Eagle project. I apologize for the wind noise on my door, but it's cold and windy and it snowed a little bit. So, yeah, fun. Anyway, last video you saw, I got this carburetor hooked up, went for a little test fire, got the kind of sputter, had to keep pumping it low to get it going. And I think the main problem with that is the fact that I have that fucking thing upside down. The return line is supposed to be on top, not bottom. So I'll have to spin that around. But main focus today is get this other side here figured out. And I really want to get this nutter bypass thing figured out too. I'm also going to be tackling this vacuum advance thing. I'm actually going to try to hook this thing up to a manifold vacuum. Now when most people do their motorcraft swap, they just use a ported vacuum, which would be right there. As you can see, there'd be a nipple sticking out of that, but my carb is a non-smog carb, so it does not have that. It's non-functional. And the supplier of the carburetor just said, you know, you can just cap that off, it's fine, and it should be really actually fine, because this thing has centrifugal advances in there. All the vacuum was doing in this case was advancing under higher RPM load instead of low RPM vacuum advance, and this was to cut down on NOx emissions. So, and for that, that's pretty much what it did. So I really don't need it, because all it's doing is further advancing the timing, which would, if you do look up, they say it could run into detonation problems even and stuff like that, because you're getting like 40 some degrees of total advance. But like I said, I'm going to try and hook that up to a manifold vacuum, because that will work in an opposite way. You'll get, it's not emissions friendly that way, but as far as actually making the engine run better in every imaginable way, it is better, because you're going to decrease temperatures, you're going to increase efficiency. It's going to give you that vacuum advance around idle, which is great for cruising and everything. And that was the whole reason for vacuum advance even coming up in the first place, because they found out you can hook that up, your distributor up to that, and that advance at the low idle areas is actually beneficial to your engine. So that's how that even came up with. And then in the 80s, when emissions came around, they hooked it up to a ported system to increase emissions, kind of making it work backwards, giving you advance at higher speeds and working with centrifugal to give you even further advance. So that's a bit of a clusterfuck. So I'm going to try and do the opposite and get that thing hooked up to the manifold vacuum, and then I'll have to play with the timing to get it right, so I get basically a much better running engine that way. So that's something else I'm going to try doing, and it's going to be pretty much something I'm going to have to figure out for the most part, because no one has done this on an AMC Eagle. I'm not sure about a Jeep, but most people, when they do the whole system, they just hook it up to a ported vacuum. I'm going to do it, manifold vacuum on that, and I'll probably be the first person to do it as far as I can tell on the internet. Weird. Hopefully I don't have any major vacuum leaks over here, because that could also cause a backfire through the carb. I probably do though, around those gaskets. I'll have to undo all those bolts and take that all apart and silicone the shit out of it. Anyway, nutter bypass. You got wires, which I believe are buried in this mess you can see here. Turn on my light and give you further light. This wire bundle is totally caked in electrical tape. You see, you got those wires there, but under here, if I try to follow it open, okay, I can't see this screen either. Hard to do this all at once. Follow that. There's a purple wire. And you see the orange wire kind of buried in there. So you're going to want to undo all this electrical tape. Pain in the ass, I know. And that's the wires you're going to need. And they should go up and connect or go into this wire loom here. Yeah, which they do. You're gonna want to pull them out of the wire loom, and you're gonna trace them up somewhere around there, and you're gonna cut them. And then you're gonna splice that purple wire into this purple wire. You're not going to cut this wire really per se. You're gonna cut it and reattach it, but with that other purple wire spliced into it. And that orange wire is gonna get spliced into that light green wire. Sorry for this clusterfuck again. It's hard to see on this connection. God damn it. See that light green wire? My fingers. That light green wire. So orange to that, and purple to purple. And you got orange to light green, basically. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing is getting this coil out of here and getting my TFI coil on there. And I got to splice these wires all together, and I believe that's my resistor that needs to die or something. So there's a resistor in here to lower the voltage. Crazy, I know. And I'm going to be getting a bigger cap and rotor on here. Yeah, basically a Ford system. Then they got all new wires, and I gotta take out all the spark plugs and re-gap them. So hopefully it shouldn't be too complicated. Hopefully, obviously this is going to be the hardest part right here, figuring out all this shit. So I guess I'll get started with disconnecting this to my distributor, maybe. Even though it's not necessary, I just want to disconnect it, maybe make it easier to get this off. I don't know. But I can get all that shit off too on my distributor and work on getting this coil out, which looks like to be Torque's bit, I think. Oh no, a tornado, a snow-nado. Anyway, yeah, looks like Torque's bit. You can see it. It'd be fun getting my new one on there, eh? Looks nothing like it. Nah. Fucking cold. Yeah. So I'll get started on all this, and maybe I'll have to disconnect everything here to make it easier for my life. God damn. It's like all cobbled in. Fun times. Yeah, so with that electrical tape nightmare taken care of, you can see there's your two wires you're after. And now you just gotta trace them back to this wire loom and trace them all the way back to about somewhere around here or so. And chop them. I don't think they're in any of these connectors, probably like somewhere inside this motherfucker. Or this one. One of them is inside of them. I can't tell you which one, but it's probably the big one, because that one I believe is the one going through the firewall somewhere. Maybe. Somewhere. Yeah, that's going to be time consuming. Oh well. So I traced the loom that these things go into, and it looks like it might be going to the firewall just right there, so we'll see. If not that one, it's this one right here. Not this one, but the smaller one actually. So I was a little wrong here. But you can see it goes under your heater hoses here and right here. I'll turn on the light for you guys because you can't see shit. Follow it. And you follow it. Yeah, hard to see shit, but you can feel that your wires are going into that one. So, so much shit in the way. Yeah, so it looks like it's that one at least. Or, you know, you could just kind of cut it right around here because it only needs to go to here, so make it a little easier on yourself, eh? I think that's what you can do, because it's basically just you're gonna pull out the wire and then you're gonna cut like a foot or two off of it just to connect it here. So why not just disconnect it somewhere right here instead of pulling out all these looms and trying to cut it as close to the firewall as possible. I mean, if you want to get to that point, you might as well just go to the computer and chop them off there and just start pulling them out. I don't know. Alright guys, so I just completed my another bypass. As I showed you in the previous videos, you got your, well, previous clips you just seen. You got your wire loom and everything. I cut it right around here. I followed back because I just didn't see it being totally necessary to follow it all the way up there. And I kind of just threw a bunch of shit together, close off those lines. And here you got where I'm talking about splicing the purple and the purple together. I'll turn on the light here. But yeah, here's a purple wire going into the plug. Here's a purple wire from the distributor, and it's being spliced to that purple wire going to your ignition box. So that's how you do that one. And over here, your orange wire goes in that light green one, and that's it. I couldn't find any of that light green one, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think that just goes right to the computer anyway. So yeah, that's all you do basically. So now what I think we're going to do before I start tearing apart the ignition completely is that I'm going to readjust that fuel filter for one, and then connect my vacuum advance to the manifold instead of a ported vacuums, because that should be working a lot better that way, and give her another test fire, or attempt to at least. So well, give that a shot. So yeah. Alright guys, got the battery hooked up, got the vacuum advance hooked up to manifold vacuum and the nutter bypass. So it looks like my choke is open, so I'll probably have to tinker around with the choke obviously when I fully get everything running up here. But I do want to just give another test fire here. Got some cloths just in case that decides to leak. Just so that's not going to be rattling. And I also got my fuel filter here put into the proper position. Yeah, that would probably help a lot. So anyway, I read that you don't have to really adjust it, the timing when you go from ported to manifold vacuum, so hopefully we're all correct. That's what you get when you read shit off the internet all the time. Hopefully I got enough charge when I've new hopped on my battery. It's been unhooked and whatnot. Okay, let's see if we have a carb fire. I should have a fire extinguisher, but I don't. Wow, that was quick. It's wanting to. Spraying fuel. It's probably because I do not have enough choke. But it's wanting to start really bad. It's just burping fuel out too. That's not cool. Let me try something real fast. Yeah, we'll try it with the air cleaner on. Might help a little restriction, just as a quick fix to the choke thing, the choke issue. So I'll have to readjust that shit. Yep. Oh baby. Oh, come on. You know you want to. Alright, what's burning up? Yeah, she doesn't want to stay running out. I started smoking up good there for a second. Probably something else just sitting on my fucking exhaust though. But she's wanting to run. I was a little scared there for a second. Seeing smoke coming out. Oh, but she's just not ready to run yet. But that was definitely a better improvement here. That could have something to do with the another bypass, but it could also do with the fact that I got vacuum advance going now. I'm trying to think. Now I wonder if I'm getting enough fuel. Probably am. It's running though. Could be maybe a leak around the plate there. I'm not sure. But I got it running for a couple seconds. I'll probably have to research a little bit further into this, and unfortunately I do not have a computer because my family is using them all. Definitely not know. I know there's a metering valves for idle adjustment, but it just wasn't running, staying running, period. So it could be a fueling issue. I'm wondering if it has something to do with this fuel setup, or maybe my fuel pump, but it was working before, so the lines are kinked, so weird. It is getting fuel though. Let's open this up again. It could be an air thing too, because it won't start with the cleaner on. It probably just needs to warm up more, could be. But it didn't have that problem before either. So maybe we're not getting enough air, you know, to our fuel mixture, or maybe we got some missed vacuum spot and we're leaking, or the base plate, adapter plate there is leaking, but be an issue with I know when I upload this someone will have a better clue, but maybe if I had like a large enough leak going on here, it would be running way too lean, and you know, when I pump it, it runs, but if I let it sit at a certain idle, whether it be high or low or idle, you know, it dies. So it could be that I'm getting not enough fuel through the fact that I got a huge vacuum leak causing too much air to get in. Odd. I still want to figure out what the fuck was smoking up though. That scared the shit out of me. I'm thinking, oh my god, my car is actually going to catch on fire, isn't it? Oh my god. The day's ruined. I gotta work on the suspension of this thing too. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Well, it was working at least. Just don't understand why it doesn't want to stay running. Other than it just being cold as fuck. Which it could be just simply that. Weird. Hear that? It's running! It's alive! Haha! Yeah, I just need to warm up a little bit. Figured so. It's running rough though, but it could be a little cold yet. Holy shit, though, it's running though. Yeah, check this shit out though. Oh shit. How's that for desmog, eh? How do you like that shit? Oh yes, delicious. Desmog running, man. Holy shit, it's running though. And it's rough. But at least it's running. It's like if it's fucking missing on a cylinder though. Helped a little bit. How should I take it around the block? I also have a lot of blow by. That's what that smoke was coming out of that cap. I should have figured that earlier. It's a worn out engine. It's running nice. Just a little rough. Just needs a little warming up, so I just need to adjust the choke a little bit. Still a little shaky. It's running now. Wow. Yeah, I just needed to warm up a little bit more. The idle's pretty high still. She's running. Oh yes, I'm happy now. I feel like this is a mission accomplished. As is, right now, we're done. Pretty sure that's the right one. be actually. Anyway, I'll take her on with it. Well, got it running again. The fast idle was due to the choke. See, I got the choke open, you know. Yeah, so that means I'm probably got a vacuum leak, and I think I can hear one too. You can hear that little hissing sound. That definitely sounds like a vacuum leak. I couldn't really hear it before because the engine was always revved to fuck up. So I got a vacuum leak somewhere. And I can't, it sounds like it's back here too. And I know I got a vacuum line right here. Because covering up the carb, it doesn't change that noise. Could be right on the carb itself, somewhere too. See, it probably didn't get a perfect enough seal on there. But also like the fact that my choke doesn't seem to want to function properly. It actually has something to do with this adjustment here. Like, I'm not sure if this thing's even functioning as good. It's warm, so it should be. So I really have to toy around with that a lot. But it really does sound like a vacuum leak. It's not loud though. Well, no, it could be the intake manifold too leaking. That problem happens a lot. if I give it instant throttle, it basically goes to full throttle. So, this is the part where I wish I knew more what I was doing. But mostly seems to be a choke issue there. So I'm gonna do a little research on how to adjust the choke so it's not fucking me over like that. Plus I need to figure out where the fuck that vacuum leak is. Cause that's the only reason why I could think of why it would idle up with more choke. Yeah, I just don't understand. I know there's a high idle adjustment for the choke, but it's so warmed up it should be past that point. And plus, with the choke plate fully closed, it runs better, so... Well, I should say it runs at a higher RPM, so I think what that means is I'm not getting... my fuel air mixture is way off. Because... I mean, I just don't get it. It shouldn't do that. So yeah, I'll look into it. Running though. Yeah.